Hello everyone and welcome back to Evie's Pets. Today I'm going to be making a flock cake or block for my chickens, and I wanted to show you the recipe I've made so that I can make one really easy and really quickly. So to start, I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make this recipe. So you're going to need a medium-sized mixing bowl. I find the aluminum is easiest to clean out. I have tried the plastic ones and they don't work very well. Then you're also going to need a spatula or some kind of mixing spoon. It works way better than like a whisk because the mixture is quite sticky. You're also going to need two 6-inch round pans covered in aluminum foil so that nothing sticks to them. And you could also use one 9-inch round, or you could try maybe like one of those square pans. And put all the mixture, but I'm going to divide the mixture between both of these to make two little kind of like flock cakes. So that's all the things you'll need, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the ingredients. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all the ingredients I use. To start off, we have 1 cup of scratch grains. You could also use bird seed if you don't have scratch grains, so whatever you have works fine as long as your chickens really like it. You're also going to have a half a cup of feed, and you can use whatever brand, you could use pellets, crumbles, mash, whatever feed you have. You're also going to need a half a cup of oats, and you could use rolled oats or old-fashioned oats or quick cooking oats or any kind of oats you have in your house. You'll also need a 1/4 cup of worms or black soldier fly larvae. You could also, if you don't have any of these fancy chicken treats, you could also use some kind of vegetable or fruit to mix in. You can add anything you want to this recipe, so you could try something like that, but this is a 1/4 cup of mealworms. You'll also need a 1/4 cup of flour, and you can use almond flour or oat flour or all-purpose flour or any kind of flour you have as long as it's safe for chickens. You'll also need a 1/4 cup of ground flax seed, and if you don't have ground flax seed, you could try a different kind of ground seed. I find it's really nice to have this because it helps everything stick together really well. So if you don't have it, maybe add a little more flour or maybe a little more feed, but if you do have it, definitely put it in because it really helps stick everything together, and your flock block might turn out not as strong without the flaxseed. So I have not tried it without the flaxseed, so I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of taking a guess there. You'll also need a teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon is actually very good for chickens, and I like to add it in just as kind of like a supplement. You're also going to need a 1/3 cup lard, fat, or you could also use coconut oil. So I have some, I think beef fat here that I'm going to melt down and use, and make sure you melt this, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But yeah, you could also use coconut oil if you don't have any fat. I just happen to have some fat available. You can you'll also need a 1/4 cup of honey or molasses. This is important for sticking it together. So that is really all the ingredients I'm using, and I'm just going to show you how to put them all together, and it really doesn't take long to put our flock block together. So the next thing I'm going to do is put everything in the mixing bowl and then mix it all around. Now that I have all my dry ingredients mixed, I'm going to melt down the beef fat and add that to the mixture, and also put in the honey, and I'm going to mix it around real good, and then we can go ahead and put it into the pans. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add is the honey, and the spatula comes in really handy for putting it in. So just make sure you get it all, because you really do need it to stick everything together. And like I said, you could also use molasses, so just use whatever you have available. I just had honey, so that's what I'm using. So yeah, that should be all of it. Okay, so I just finished melting down my beef fat and I'm going to add that in. And now I can go ahead and just stir it around real good. So it is all done. It looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and put it into my 6-inch pans. Put down a baking sheet so that I don't get mess everywhere, because this isn't actually the kitchen. The kitchen was being used, so I had to do it at Milo's bar, or that's what I call it. So he is not very happy with it, but we're going to go ahead and do it here. Okay, so now that we have these all filled, I'm going to put these in the oven, and I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video, set your oven to 350 degrees, and these are going to bake for 30 minutes. If you have a different size pan that's smaller than this, so if your cake is a little thicker, you're going to have to bake it for longer, but I find that 30 minutes works great for these, and I think it would also work fine for the 9-inch round. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. So I pulled these out of the oven about 10 minutes ago, and I let them cool off for a little while, and now I'm going to just slide them out very carefully and put them in the freezer for about 30 minutes to cool, and you can see they look really nice. One of them I'm going to put a hole through the middle so I can hang it later, and this is a great time to do it because it's still a little warm but it isn't too hard yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little cookie cutter to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the middle, and this is actually just a piping tip that I have. I think you could also use like a bottle cap, or I don't think if you could find a cookie cutter this small, that would work too. But there's lots of things you could use. I'm just going to go right in the middle. You could put yours up here, wherever. I'm going to go ahead and put it right in the middle because that seems to be the best spot to hang it from. And just make sure it goes all the way down. And that's really all you need to do. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the freezer, and it'll be done in like 30 minutes. I just took these out of the freezer, and they're all ready to be unwrapped and fed to the chickens. So when you're unwrapping it, just be gentle with it because it could fall apart. It's pretty strong, or it should be pretty strong, but just be careful with it. Mine came out fine. But yeah, so now we're just going to put a string and we can hang it in the coop. So there is actually a couple different ways to feed your treat to your chickens. You could just put it on a plate and put it down. What I actually like to do is I put it in this little net and I hang it, and they eat kind of through the net into the tree, and it makes it last way longer. It's a lot more interesting for the chickens so they don't just eat it all very quickly. But you could also hang it with some string. That works well. And like I said, you could also put it just on the ground and let them eat it. So there's lots of different ways to feed it to them. So since it's time for the taste test, I'm just going to use the one with the hole to hang it. And all you're going to have to do is put it on a piece of rope, and we're going to go hang it in the chicken coop. Okay, so the taste test seems to be going really well. They really like it. I just hung it up, and they're so happy. They're pecking all over it, and it's holding together really well. So I'm really happy with how it came out. And if you guys would like to follow the recipe, I'm going to leave it down in the description below. And it is my own recipe. I did not take it from anybody. So yeah, I hope you guys like it, and I hope it works for you. I tried to make it as easy as possible to follow so that you can, if you don't have the ingredients you need, you can use other things. So I really hope you like it. And if you did, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe to my channel. And also, it's great for snowy days. Or days that your chickens can't get out to play in their run. And that's why I made it today, because my chickens are stuck in a little cage because it's too hot for them to be in their coop today. So they're in a little cage in the shade where they can stay cool. And there's not much to do in the little cage because it's small. And so I thought this would be a great treat for today. It's also a great treat for snowy days when they can't get out and play. So yeah, it's all around a really great treat, and there's lots of ways to serve it. And it seems like they really like it. And you can make it lots of different ways with whatever your chickens enjoy. So I really hope you guys like this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.